Okay, hello everyone. I have here an adapted problem which is a question on adjusting entries. So, isite ko lang yung pinanggalingan kong libro because this is adapted. The question comes from the book of Sir Virgilio Avila and Ma'am Daisy de la Cruz. So, the problem goes this way. Basahin ko lang muna yung question and then let me answer it through my own approach which is the T account. So etong si Safe and Sound Travel nag-ooperate ng ferry boat kung saan dinadala yung mga turista on sightseeing tours in the 100 islands of Pangasinan. So the company adjusts its accounts at the end of each month. The following selected accounts appear on its March 31 adjusted trial balance. So I have the following balances on prepaid insurance, prepaid rent, the ferry boat, the accumulated depreciation, and the unearned passenger revenue. So this is a question with multi-accounts wherein the corresponding balances are as follows. Yung mga normal balance ay debit, yung prepaid insurance mo, prepaid rent, and the ferry boat. Samantalang ang accumulated depreciation mo at saka unearned passenger revenues, ito ang kanilang mga balanse which will fall under the credit side. Additional information tells us that Safe and Sound Travel records the advance payments as prepaid expenses and advance collections or deposits from customers as unearned revenues. Okay, let me just emphasize this to you. Ang sinasabi lang kasi nitong problem na ito, nitong additional information, they are using the balance sheet approach. When recording deferrals, yung prepaid expenses are being recorded using the asset method. Samantalang pag mga unearned revenues, they are being recorded as a liability. Ang gusto ko na tandaan din ninyo, is this one kanina, that the company adjusts its accounts at the end of each month. So, buwan-buwan, nagkakaroon sila ng adjusting entry. As compared to some na maaring at the end of the year lang, sila gumagawa ng adjusting entries. Additional information, A, B, C, and D. The prepaid insurance, this one, is a 12-month insurance policy na binili noong January 1. Remember that the balances here are as of March 31. On letter B, 6 months rent daw had been prepaid on February 1. So, etong prepaid rent naman, binili naman ito noong February 1. Prepaid on February 1. The ferry boat, for letter C, is depreciated using its estimated useful life of 10 years without any residual value. At sa letter D naman, the unearned passenger revenue represents tickets for future rides sold to a travel agency at 500 pesos per ticket on March 1. As of March 31, the number of tickets used total 230. Okay, so ang question kasi dito is determine the original cost of the 12-month insurance policy for letter A. For letter B, magkano yung monthly rent expense? For letter B, ano yung edad ng ferry boat o yung age? And for letter D, the number of 500 tickets for future rides sold to a travel agency on March 31. And sa letter D naman, prepare the adjusting entries as of March 31. So, himayin nating mabuti, Ang key dito is intindihin ninyo mabuti yung problem at kung ano yung hinihingi. At tandaan ninyo yung mga detalye na binigay dito sa ating problem. The key is your analysis. Yung analyzing skill ninyo. Skill, isa lang. Okay? So, what I did is I created a T account. Maari kasi na pwede mo na itong gawin, straightforward computation. Magaling ka naman mag-analyze, meron kang cognitive map na ma-map mo na ito sa iyong isipan, paano ito isasagot. Pero sa iba na kailangan ng guide, alam mo, naging helpful sa akin na naintindihan ko yung T account nung ako'y nasa college. So, ito yung approach na ipapakita ko sa inyo. So, this one, i-plot muna natin ito sa mga corresponding T accounts. I have it here in my Excel. So, tandaan ninyo, I have the prepaid insurance na 90,000 debit siya na nakalagay doon. Meron din akong prepaid rent na 120,000. Debit ang nakalagay din doon. Yung ferry boat ko, magkano? 3 million, naka-debit din. Samantalang yung aking accumulated depreciation for the ferry boat, nung March 31, 1,200,000 at yung aking unearned passenger revenue naman ay 85,000. O dito, mahalaga na pansinin ninyo, etong mga accounts na ito, yung mga amounts nila ay dated as of March 31. Okay, kaya dito nilagay ko March 31 sa kada mga amounts nito. And another thing that you have to check and you have to take note, yung sinasabi dito, atong mga amounts na ito ay nanggaling sa adjusted trial balance. Okay? Adjusted na yan. Yan na yung final balances after adjustments. Remember, initially, before adjusting entries, meron tayong tinatawag na unadjusted trial balance. And then, after we journalize, kapag gumagawa tayo ng worksheet, nagpa-plot din tayo ng adjusting entries, debits and credits, And pag pinag-plus minus natin yan, ang kakalabasan niyan ay ang iyong adjusted trial balance. So kung gumagamit ka ng columnar pad, ito yung pang 5 and 6 na columns mo. Okay. Plinat ko, di ba? I have the following. Adjusted trial balance yan. Adjusted amounts yan. Yan din yung nasa pinakababa. Kaya dito, mapapansin ninyo, nandito siya sa baba. Now, ano ang susunod na gagawin ninyo? Pag mag-a-analyze kasi kayo ng problem, tandaan ninyo yung mga additional information. O dito, mahalaga ito kasi meron tayo for deferrals nung alternative approach which is your expense method for prepaid expenses at saka income method for unearned revenues. Iba kasi yung recording natin dyan kung sakali man na yun yung ginamit, yung alternative method. For letter A, additional data, yung prepaid insurance daw is a 12-month insurance policy na binili noong January 1. So that, kung ang prepaid insurance mo ay dated as of March 31, maglagay nga tayo dito noong January 1. Dito, binili ko yan. Okay? The question is, magkano yan ang binili ko noong January 1? Kasi sa ngayon, that is already 90,000 dated March 31. Okay? Tignan ko muna. Balikan natin ito. Lagyan ko muna ng kulay dilaw na highlight. Sa letter B naman daw, etong 6 months rent had been prepaid February 1. Eto naman, na balanse mo ng nung March 31 na 120,000, binili mo naman yan, prepaid mo naman yan ng February 1, which is good for 6 months. Okay, dito, lagyan ko lang additional information, 6 months yung life nito. Si prepaid insurance naman, 1 year or 12 months, palitan natin. Okay? Next, for letter C, yung ferry boat daw, depreciate sa loob ng 10 taon, walang residual value. Dito, lagyan ko na lang, yung useful life ay 10 years. No salvage value. So, these are my additional information. Sa letter D, yung unearned passenger revenue for future rides sold to a travel agency, nabili or naibenta at may nakolekta ka noong March 1. Sige. So, maglalagay ako dito, dated March 1. So, noong March 1, nagkaroon ako ng advance collections. At nung nabili ko yan ng March 1, that is 500 tickets. Pesos. Okay? 500 peso per ticket. Sorry. Okay? 500 peso per ticket. Now, as of March 31 daw, the number of tickets used total 230. So, eto, 230 tickets left. So, yung balance na yan ay 230 tickets left. So, ano ang kailangan, At ano yung tinatanong? For letter A, ang tinatanong, magkano yung original cost, which is this one. So, this is the question mark. For letter B, magkano yung monthly rent expense? So, yung question dito is monthly rent expense. So, kunin natin magkano nga ba ito. Okay? The monthly rent expense. For letter C naman, magkano yung edad? Or sorry, what is the age? Okay? Age of ferry. For letter C. Okay? Dito, monthly rent expense. Okay? Dito naman, ang tinatanong, original cost. Cost of insurance is question mark. And then, for letter D, number of 500 tickets for future rides sold on a travel agency on March 1. Magkano to? Pero the question is, ilang tickets? No? Dito ko ilagay sa baba. How many tickets sold on March 1? Okay? So that is the question for letter D. So anong gagawin mo? Dito, umpisahan natin sa prepaid insurance. Meron kang detalye, no? 90,000 on March 31. Meron kang additional information nung January 1 daw ito binili, which is 12 months. Ang question is, magkano ito nung January 1? Remember that from January 1 hanggang March 31, meron ng tatlong buwan na nag-lapse. January, February, and then March. So, ibig sabihin, as of March 31, 3 months expired. Okay? So, magkano na lang ang natira? Ito, meron ka na lang 9 months unexpired. Dahil tapos na ang iyong adjusting entry, yung 90,000 is already good for 9 months na lang. Okay? So, since I already identified ilang buwan yung unexpired, because that is the asset, ang gawin natin, i-divide lang natin ito. 90,000 divided by 9, you will get, tanggalin ko na to, no? For computation, 90,000 divided by 9, I will get 10,000 pesos. That is my monthly expense. Okay, monthly expense 10,000. However, ang tinatanong kasi ng problem, what is the cost of insurance noong January 1? So, since meron na tayong 3 months expired, ang gagawin natin dyan, kung meron akong 10,000 kada buwan, dahil 3 buwan na yung nagamit ko, times 3 ko lang ito, I will get 30,000. And since 30,000 yan, i-work back lang naman natin siya. 90,000 yung unexpired plus yung 30,000 expired. Ibig sabihin, as of January 1, ang cost ng aking insurance ay 120,000 pesos. Just to double check, 120,000, that is good for 12 months. Divide ko yan ng 12, 10,000 yan kada buwan. Dahil January, February, March na yung nagamit, 10,000 times 3, tama ito. And 120 minus 30, we will get 90,000 pesos. And so, the answer for letter A is 120,000. So dito, ang sagot natin dito ay 120,000 pesos. Okay? Restricted pala yung aking file, so hindi ko masusulatan. Anyway, the answer is this one. Lagyan ko na lang ng pula. Okay? Next, dito tayo sa prepaid rent. Ang question dito is, magkano daw yung monthly rent expense? Ito yung given ko. March 31, 120,000 na lang yung natitira. Pero nung February 1, nag-prepaid ako, which is good for 6 months. The same principle from prepaid insurance, ilang buwan na yung nag-lapse or ilang buwan na yung nag-expire. From February 1 hanggang March 31, we have 2 months. Kasi February and March. Ibig sabihin, etong 120 ko ay 4 months left. So, ganun din, gawin lang din natin, I have 120,000, divide ko ng 4, ang makukuha ko dyan, 30,000. Yan yung aking monthly rent expense. O, yun ba yung tinatanong ng problem? O, the answer is yes. Monthly rent expense kasi. So, ang answer ko for letter B is 30,000 pesos. O, pero, just to confirm, i-check lang natin, fill upan lang natin yung ating T accounts. 2 buwan na yung nag-expire dyan. So, I have 30,000 times 2 months. So, ang nag-lapse ko na ay this one, 60,000 pesos. Ibig sabihin, noong February 1, ang binili ko na prepaid rent, ay yung advance rental ko ay 180,000. O 180,000 divided by, magkano? Divided by 6. O that is 30,000 per month. O dahil 2 buwan na, 60,000 yan. At pag kinuha natin yung difference, we will get 120,000. Okay? So, for letter B, once again, the answer is 30,000 pesos. Okay. Next tayo. The age of ferry boat. Ano yung mga given? We have the 3 million and then meron akong accumulated depreciation na 1,200,000. Now, for ferry boat, remember that the cost of your ferry boat or in general, the cost of your long-term assets are carried at the acquisition cost, yung historical cost. Kung magkano mo siya nabili noon, yan at yan pa rin yan. Okay? Unless may mga disposals, etc. Pero, hindi naman yan pinakomplicate sa problem. So, ibig sabihin, yung 3 million is basically your acquisition cost. Ano ang magbabago dyan? Ang magbabago dyan kada period is your accumulated depreciation. Remember that your accumulated depreciation is a running balance ng lahat ng mga depreciation expense mo from the time na nag-umpisa kang mag-depreciate. So, kung meron akong 10 years na given, okay, meron akong 3 million, wala tayong salvage value. Yung 3 million ko, divide ko yan ng 10 years, ibig sabihin, kada taon, meron dapat akong 300,000 na accumulated depreciation. Can you follow? O dahil yan yung annual na depreciation ko, kung saan-saan na lang ako nagsulat, sorry. Kung meron akong annual depreciation na 300,000, sa madaling salita, ang nag-expire na, okay, ang nag-lapse na period ay for 1,200,000 divided by your annual depreciation. So, ibig sabihin, this is 4 years. 4 na taon ko nang nagagamit itong aking ferry boat. Kaya yung answer natin for letter C is 4 years. That is the age of your ferry boat. Okay? Can you follow? Next tayo. Delete ko na ito, Okay, so ngayon, proceed tayo naman dito sa pang-apat, yung unearned passenger revenue. Now, correct ko lang yung aking sarili, kasi ang nailagay ko dito, 230 tickets left. Ang sinabi pala dito sa problem ay 230 tickets na yung nagamit. Okay? So, etong tickets used, correction lang, 230 tickets used. Ito yung nandito dapat sa kaliwang side. Ito yung i-transfer na natin doon sa iyong income statement papuntang service revenue. Okay, so ito yung mga given, 85,000. Ito kasi yung tickets left. Okay, tickets left noong March 31 plus mo yung tickets used mo, yun yung kakalabasan mo na number of tickets na naibenta noong March 1. So, papaano natin malalaman? Remember na kada ticket ay 500. So, kung meron akong 85,000, etong 85, divide ko lang ng 500 kasi 500 pesos. Sa madaling salita, yung value nitong 85,000 ay 170 tickets. So, kung 170 tickets o 170 tickets left plus 230 tickets used, the answer is 400. Okay? O kung ang tinatanong sa problem ay magkano yung value nun, times lang natin ito ng 500, 200,000 yung advance collections na nakuha noong March 1. But again, ang tinatanong is how many tickets sold. So this is the answer, 400 tickets. Okay? So this is the answer for the computation and letter D. Okay? Oh, now, proceed tayo sa number 2. Prepare daw the adjusting entries as of March 31. O, dito nagkaroon ng mga kalituhan. Nagkamali sila. O, kasi dito, for prepaid insurance, ang monthly insurance expense mo dyan ay hindi 30,000, kung hindi 10,000. Remember, 120,000, we have to divide it by 12 months kasi yun yung life ng insurance. So, 120 divided by 12, the answer is 10,000. Debit, insurance expense, credit, prepaid insurance sa halagang 10,000 pesos. O bakit 10,000 pesos lang yan? Kasi, remember that we depreciate, okay, or we adjust the accounts at the end of each month. So, wala ka nang pakialam for the month of February and for the month of January kasi na-record yan at the end of the month. Ang i-record mo na lang is yung for the month of March. Okay? So, debit, insurance expense, credit, prepaid insurance for 10,000 pesos. So, this is the journal entry for number 2 for the prepaid insurance. O now, dito sa prepaid rent naman, ano ang journal entry natin dyan? Siyempre, debit, rent expense, and credit to prepaid rent for how much? Is it for 60,000? The answer is no. We will only get the 30,000. So, yan kasi ang monthly rent mo, monthly rent expense. So, yan din yung ating sagot. How about sa accumulated depreciation? Kasi remember, ang ating journal entry natin dyan ay debit depreciation expense and credit accumulated depreciation. O, magkano ang ating monthly depreciation? Kung ang annual mo ay 300,000, i-divide natin yan ng 12, we will get 25,000. Monthly depreciation expense. 300,000 is good for 1 year. Okay? And last, for the tickets sold, o debit natin, unearned service revenue, and credit natin, service revenue. At dahil March 1 yan, binili, March 31 na yan, o magkano yon? The difference between 200,000 and 85. The amount for the 230 tickets. So, the answer for that is, para i-double check natin, 230 tickets yung nagamit na, times 500 kada ticket, 115,000 pesos. Okay? So, that is our journal entries to answer yung number 2 question na journal entries at the end of March 31. Okay? So, I hope you got it right, ano? Kung nagkamali kayo dyan at nalilito kayo dyan, okay lang. At least now, you know. So, I'll see you again on the next review, ano? Next questions. Bye-bye!